how I learned bookkeeping with no experience, and then I started a bookkeeping business. 5 years ago, I started Harrisburg Bookkeeping. No college degree in accounting, no work experience, no certifications, no credentials, no finance experience. I just started because, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about why I decided to get started, how I started. I make these videos because honestly, I just love talking about this stuff. I love talking about my bookkeeping business. I love talking about my private money lending, Zip Capital, my investment fund. I grew my bookkeeping business to 87 clients, making more than $40,000 per month. I have learned so many lessons. And so my goal is to teach you what I've learned and the mistakes that I've made so that you can avoid the mistakes and fast track to success. Let's just jump right into it. Let's not waste any time. By the way, check out the description of this video. Go ahead and follow me on all my other social media channels if you haven't already. I put out daily content that's a little bit short, a little bit more exciting. Okay, let's talk about how I learned bookkeeping with no experience and started a bookkeeping business. So first, why did I start this? I really liked math, loved calculus, trigonometry, algebra, geometry. I loved math in high school. So if that's you, that's a good start. I also loved personal finance. I tracked my own personal finances very meticulously. I basically was doing bookkeeping for my own personal finances for years before I ever started my bookkeeping business. And so I didn't realize it in the moment, but I quickly realized after I started my bookkeeping business, oh wow, I have actually already been doing this with my own personal finances. I had Excel spreadsheets. I was recording the date, the description, and the amount of every personal transaction that I did. I use Excel a lot as a bookkeeper. So you need to know how to use Excel. You don't need to be a tech wizard, but you need to reasonably know how to use Excel. So if you like math, if you enjoy personal finance, if you know how to use a computer and Excel spreadsheets, finally, you also need to obviously somewhat like business. It's funny, when I was in the Army, it's actually not that funny, but it's interesting. Maybe it's not interesting. I'll just explain. When I was in the Army, I knew I wanted to start a business, but I wasn't sure which business I wanted to start. So I did a little bit of research, read a couple books, listened to some podcasts, and I came up with this brilliant idea of starting a hot dog stand. I was just trying to think, what is the easiest business to start? And so my brilliant plan was to start a hot dog stand when I got out of the Army. Obviously, that I was thinking I could do that on the weekend, Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening, maybe 2 days a week, open up my hot dog stand, few hours, and sell hot dogs on the side of the road. Never did it, probably a good thing, but I had always liked the idea of starting a business. And then my next bright idea was to become a financial advisor. I thought that's what I wanted to do. Did some more research, figured out I didn't really want to sell life insurance, which that seems like how a lot of financial advisors get started. So I didn't necessarily go the financial advisor route, and then did a little bit more research, and I learned that accounting is the language of business. I thought that's interesting. Accounting is the language of business. So if I want to start a business, if I like personal finance and math, I know how to use Excel, why not look into accounting? So what I did, I took Intro to Accounting at an online college. Nothing crazy, pretty basic. Before that, I had a college degree, but it was in psychology. Graduated from Lehigh University, psychology degree, never took a single business, finance, or accounting class the entire time as an undergrad. Joined the Army, got out of the Army, used my GI Bill to go back to school for free. Decided to take Intro to Accounting. I was still working my full-time job. So if you're thinking about starting a bookkeeping business, or maybe you're a year into it and trying to get this thing growing, and you feel not very confident in your bookkeeping fundamentals, accounting concepts, maybe consider taking an Intro to Accounting at a local community college or a local online college. It's probably going to be kind of expensive. I don't know, might be $500, maybe $1,000, pretty expensive. I've never done it, but I do know QuickBooks has a bookkeeping course, a bookkeeping certification. So maybe check that out. Or you could probably get a book at your library. You could probably watch some YouTube videos and learn everything you need to know. Write this down: accounting fundamentals, bookkeeping concepts. Write this down: balance sheet, income statement, assets, liabilities, equity, income, expenses, accounts payable, accounts receivable, debits, and credits. You need to know all of those concepts, and you need to know how they all work together. That's pretty much it. And then reconciliation. Add that to the list. Those are the bookkeeping fundamentals. Those are the accounting concepts. This is slightly unrelated, but I think it's really important to note. If you want to start a bookkeeping business, and if you like math, numbers, Excel, business, finance, that's a great start. But keep in mind, you also need to do marketing and sales. It's not enough to just be an accountant. If you just want to be an accountant or a bookkeeper and you don't want to do marketing and sales, let me save you the trouble and maybe just go get a staff accountant job at a Fortune 500 company or at a local small business. Maybe just be an in-house accountant. That way you don't have to worry about sales and marketing. Great job. Probably start out $60,000 a year. As you work your way up 3 or 4 years, could probably get to 6 figures being a manager in the accounting department. Great career. Nothing against that. But if you want to start a business, if you want to get to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of monthly recurring revenue, you need to understand and like accounting concepts, but you also need to be willing and able to do marketing and sales. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so once you've decided that starting a bookkeeping business is for you, QuickBooks Online is going to be your best friend. It's going to be a very useful tool because all of the accounting that I do, all of the bookkeeping that I do is all done through QuickBooks Online. So bookkeeping fundamentals and the software of QuickBooks Online, they're related, but at the same time, very different. Understanding debits and credits and assets and liabilities on paper, very important, but also understanding how to actually use the software of QuickBooks Online, also very important. So if you haven't already, you can create a free account, QuickBooks Online Accountant, and you can become certified. Become a certified QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's not an easy test to pass, but they give you all the study material. Take it seriously, learn as much as you can, but also understand that passing that exam does not mean that you're ready to be a bookkeeper. You're going to learn 80% of what you need to know on the job, just like anything. You don't know anything when you get the job. Spend a couple weeks, spend a few months, and then you finally learn how to actually do the job. That's how life is. That's how it's going to go. So become a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor, learn bookkeeping fundamentals that I just talked about, consider maybe taking Intro to Accounting at a local college or watch some YouTube videos. That's actually how I got started with my investment fund, Zip Capital. So I've got an investment fund that offers 8% up to 12% fixed returns. And I started by accident, just kind of learning about private money lending because I was doing bookkeeping for real estate investors. And I thought it was a good idea. I thought it looked interesting. I thought I could do it using my accounting knowledge and my real estate experience. And so 2.5 years ago, back in 2023, I did my first private money loan, $50,000 to one of my bookkeeping clients. It went really well. And then since then, I have funded 41 real estate loans. Right now, I've got $2 million lent out, and I just kind of learned the process as I went on the job. Of course, you want to prepare beforehand. You want to mitigate risk, and you don't want to make too many mistakes. But if you wait until the moment is perfect, you're never going to get started. There's never a perfect moment to get started. Sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith, trust yourself, try really hard, have integrity, do the right thing, and believe in yourself that you'll be able to figure it out as you go. So that's what happened with my investment fund, Zip Capital. Did my own lending with my own money, and then worked up to lending other people's money. So if you want to invest into my investment fund, there's a link in the description of this video. You can register on my website if you want. You just have to be a US citizen and an accredited investor, which means you have a $1 million net worth or $200,000 of annual income, and that's $300,000 if you're married. So if you're interested, check it out. That's how I got started with private money lending and Zip Capital. Just trust yourself, believe in yourself, have the confidence to know that you'll be able to figure it out if you work hard enough. Okay, so you can also partner with a CPA. You can partner with a CPA if you need help. If you have tax questions, if you have journal entry questions, this is a great resource for you. So the idea here is that you bring your CPA tax clients, they bring you bookkeeping clients, and then also if you do a good enough job of giving them work, they would be more than happy to help you. They'll be more than happy to answer your questions, answer your phone calls, but you got to put in the work first. You have to send them referrals first. Give them help, give, and then they will reciprocate, hopefully, if it's a good relationship. So partner with a local CPA. Find a local CPA who's a solo entrepreneur, owner-operator, not necessarily an accounting firm, even if it's small. If they have bookkeepers in-house, it's not going to be a good fit because they're going to want to keep the bookkeeping work for themselves. So find a solo entrepreneur who only does taxes, maybe payroll, and partner with them. Give them tax leads, they'll give you bookkeeping leads, and then they'll also be a great resource for you to ask questions. So along those same lines, you want to avoid scope creep. You want to establish boundaries with your clients. This is how I started my bookkeeping business. Don't do more than you say you can do. That's how you're going to quickly get frustrated, overwhelmed, in over your head. And the best way to avoid scope creep is to say, if somebody asks you to do something, say, hey, I don't do that, but I partner with a CPA. His name's John, and he does that. So here's John's email. He can help you with your taxes, with your S-Corp accountability plan, with your payroll, with your fractional CFO services, your budget, your forecast. John is a CPA, and he is an expert in all of those things. Me, just your bookkeeper. I categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, and generate your financial reports. So avoid scope creep. You want to become a QuickBooks Online expert and a bookkeeping expert. So right now you might have no experience, and that's okay. But if you stick to a very specific type of service and a very specific type of software to work with, QuickBooks Online and bookkeeping, if you just stick to that, it'll be much easier for you to become an expert. It'll be much easier for you to work efficiently and quickly so that you can take on more clients, so that you can make more money. That's kind of the whole point, right? So you can get to that $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of monthly recurring revenue. So avoid scope creep. Refer things out to your CPA that you don't want to do or that you can't do. Just focus on bookkeeping. Be upfront with them. Have a client agreement. Say, I only do bookkeeping. I only categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, and generate your financial reports. That's it. And if they ask you for other things, just politely point them in a different direction. Say, that's not what I do. I'm not qualified to do that. It's not my area of expertise, but here's John. Here's John's email. He'll help you with that. That way you can truly become an expert. If you try to work with other different softwares, so here's the thing. You're going to want to offer more services because you don't want to lose clients and you want to make more money. And it's almost counterintuitive to think that if I offer fewer services, I can actually get to a point where I make more money. It's counterintuitive, but that's the truth. Because if you try to do everything for everyone, you're going to end up doing nothing for nobody. And you're going to end up being frustrated and overwhelmed. So just stick to one thing, become really, really good at that. And I promise you, there are people out there who just want bookkeeping. So focus all of your energy on those people and be willing to say no to other people who want more. I know it's hard, but trust me, it'll pay off in the long run. And then be honest, especially when you're doing your sales and marketing. Use the fact that you're a small business, a new business, use that to your advantage. For me, right now, perfect example. I have 80 bookkeeping clients. I'm busy. That could be a turnoff to some people. I'm charging a premium for my services. I'm super experienced. I'm an expert, but I'm also really busy. So if somebody were to hire me, they run the risk of me not having enough time to do their bookkeeping, or me potentially not giving them the attention that they want, or me maybe not answering their emails fast enough, not answering their phone calls. I'm not saying that happens, but the perception of a busy, overbooked bookkeeper, the perception of that is that they might not give you all the attention that you want and deserve as the client. So use that to your advantage. Say, hey, I'm new, I'm eager, and I have time. I have time to give your books the attention that they deserve. And then also when it comes to marketing and sales, it's hard because you have no experience. You have no track record. You have no referrals, no Google reviews, very, very new Facebook account. It's hard, but it's also exciting. So use that to your advantage. Talk about what you're doing. Share that you just launched your website. You just wrote your first blog post. Check it out. Just wrote my first blog post. Super exciting. I just got my Google My Business profile up and running. just got a QBO certified pro advisor exam. Just passed my certified pro advisor exam. Just finished my first college class. Just took my finals, learning more about accounting. Just finished intro to accounting. Just got my first client. Like, all these things are new and exciting. So use that to your advantage. That's exactly what I'm doing with Zip Capital right now. It's hard because I don't have the track record and the experience and the years of returns, but I'm just sharing the new and exciting things that are happening because I'm growing quickly. My business is growing more quickly than it ever will, ever in the future. The same thing with you and your bookkeeping business. Things are growing more quickly now than they ever will. So just be honest about that. Share your experience. Like on Facebook with Zip Capital, anytime I get a new investor, boom, I talk about it. Get new money into the fund, boom, I talk about it. Distribute monthly distributions to my investor, I talk about it. Do a new real estate loan, I talk about it. Because it's new and exciting and it's social proof. It proves to other people that what I'm doing, I'm actually making progress. I'm actually doing things. I got to a point in my bookkeeping business, I stopped sharing when I was getting new bookkeeping clients because it was old. It was old news. I already had 50 or 60 clients and I was done sharing. I was almost done trying to get new clients. So you have an advantage over other more experienced bookkeepers because they're already overbooked. They're not trying to get more clients. So use that to your advantage. Share your experience on social media. It'll really help you grow your bookkeeping business. 2 more things. Practice with QuickBooks Online in your personal accounts. I know what you might be thinking right now. I don't have any experience with QuickBooks. How am I going to do bookkeeping for somebody when I've never even used the software? I just have the Certified Pro Advisor exam. So get a separate account. It's free. QuickBooks Online Accountant. Get a separate account and connect your personal bank accounts and your personal credit cards to the separate free QuickBooks Online Accountant account. And this will enable you to do 2 things. Practice QuickBooks, practice categorizing transactions in the bank feed, practice reconciling accounts. That's the first thing, super important. But also, this is pretty cool, you can start managing your personal finances. You can have a budget. You can have a profit and loss for your own personal life. So if you're trying to quit your full-time job, trying to save money, trying to see how much money you need to survive while you start this new business, you can track your personal finances with QuickBooks Online. So it's a great way to do 2 things at once. Practice QuickBooks and also track your personal finances. Okay, last thing, absolute best advice. Before I say this, if you haven't already, check out all the links in the description of this video. My investment fund, my social media channels. Yes, I've got a course that teaches you all this stuff. Check it out. It's all linked below in the description of this video. Last thing, best advice. Start before you think you're ready. Best advice, because it's going to take you 2 or 3 months to get your first bookkeeping client. So here's what I don't want you to do. Start learning bookkeeping, take my course, start learning QuickBooks, and then wait until you finish all that. Spend 2 or 3 months learning and then start marketing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Instead, start simultaneously. Start learning and start marketing at the same time. Remember what I said about sharing your experience, sharing your progress and your accomplishments? That's your marketing. That's your marketing material. So share that on Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, wherever your social media is. Share what you're doing. Hey, everybody, just started a bookkeeping business. Hopefully I can get a few clients and maybe get to a point where I can quit my full-time job. Whatever that looks like for you and your social media marketing, start before you think you're ready, because it's going to take you 2 or 3 months to get your first client. And then also, as you're trying to learn and trying to figure out what kind of content to create, you're going to learn about bookkeeping. So maybe you go to Google and read a blog post, 10 best bookkeeping tips for new entrepreneurs. You're going to read this blog so that you can get some ideas about social media marketing content, and then you're going to get some content ideas and then make some marketing. But then also simultaneously, you're literally going to learn 10 bookkeeping tips for new entrepreneurs. Like, that's going to help you not only with your marketing content, but also actually being a better bookkeeper. So start before you think you're ready. Start learning bookkeeping and QuickBooks simultaneously while you start marketing and selling, because it's going to take you 2 or 3 months to get your first client. And then last thing, be honest. During your first sales consultation, if they ask you if you have any experience, you can say, you don't need to be honest. Definitely be honest. You don't need to put yourself out there too much. So don't overshare. If they say, like, do you have any experience? You can say, as a matter of fact, I'm a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, and I'm currently enrolled at Penn State taking Intro to Accounting. That's it. So don't say that you don't have clients unless they specifically ask you, like, how many clients do you have? At that point, you could maybe say, I just started a couple months ago. I'm a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. Don't have any clients yet. Be honest. Somebody will take you up on it. Somebody will give you a chance. The worst thing you can do is lie. So have integrity, be honest, but also figure out how you can get some experience before you land your first client. For me, perfect example, my father-in-law is an entrepreneur, and I helped him with his 1099s. And so he gave me a Google review, honest Google review, helped him with his 1099s when I was just getting started. And I used him as a reference. And I could say that I don't have any monthly clients, but I've helped a few business owners with their bookkeeping and with their 1099s. So figure out unique ways that you can get experience before you actually land your first paying client. That's it. Hope this video was helpful. I'm going to try to keep putting out these videos every week because I love talking about it. I love teaching you. Check out all the links in the description of this video. Check out my investment fund if you want to invest. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much.